Hi everyone, I'd just like to say thank you so much for all your support and the positive feedback about the videos so far. If you want to see more videos as they come out, please subscribe to the YouTube channel here, I think, and like the videos. All my paintings and prints of my paintings are available on my website, which can be found in the description for the videos. If you want to support and help me as an artist and help make more videos, which I'm planning on doing, maybe get something from the website or get in touch, see what can happen. All right, thanks very much. This is the scene I want to do today in the kitchen. This is our wood fire ray burn. So how this wood fire ray burn works is you build the fire in the fire pit here. This is the ash collector underneath, and also where the air is let in to come up through the fire, and it goes around this area here. This is where you do your cooking with the temperature gauge on. So the fire goes all the way around up to this regulated chimney, up through the whole house and out the top of the house. It's a fantastic piece of engineering and it's lovely to cook on, really nice. So this is the scene, and what I was thinking of showing was what I think lives in here. What kind of magical creature would live in a fire pit in a ray burn in a Victorian house in Salford? These are the usual suspects for the paints: raw umber, crimson, cadmium yellow, ultramarine and titanium white. I'm actually quite nervous about starting this one because there's a lot going on. There's a lot of different lines of perspective and things like that going on. So I'm going to get those in first. These lines, as they go down, they actually get whoop, 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 like that. So they're all going to a vanishing point way over there somewhere. I'm actually painting on 250 gram mixed media paper, and it's been gessoed. It's really thick paper and I've gessoed it because I want my paintings to last longer than the people that buy them, and maybe longer than that. So even though it's on paper, I've took every precaution to make sure that the paper is going to last as long as possible. I think that's important. I'm going to be able to get the horse brasses in as well, which I'm really pleased with. Right, I've sketched in what is actually there. Everything that is on here exists in real life. Now I'm going to start adding the bits that don't exist in that image. They exist in my head. I actually want some sort of story going on here. What I'm aiming for is a larger Firebox dragon that's coming out, and it's looking up at little dragons that are floating and flying, because maybe the dragon in the firebox realised that the little dragons had got out, and now the big dragon is calling them back into the firebox so that they don't get seen. That's the little story I've got in my head anyway. Here we go. Here's all the tones sorted out. I'm happy with the where things are, where the highlights are. I think once I start working back into it with the different colours, it's going to work well as a painting. One thing I did notice is my colour palette. Once you have a look at the colour of the kettle, and the tea towel and some of the details, that is not the blue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down and get my cobalt blue, which is more fitting for the colours that I'm trying to achieve. So I'll just add that one to the list. When I'm painting with a colour, in this case the cobalt blue of the kettle, I don't just paint it where it is on the painting, which would be there, there and there, because that's just one little bit of cobalt. What I try and do is then introduce this around the painting so that that the colour is part of this world. The colour doesn't just sit on one surface, it bounces round surfaces. It bounces round onto reflected surfaces, but it also is part of the spectrum of light that is coming in this world. So it gets introduced all over. I'm just working in the dresser there. That actually is the lightest thing on the picture, but I don't want it to, in real life, but I don't want it to dominate this. So, artistic license, take it away a bit. Now, that isn't dominating, this bit here is. And that's all I wanted to do with that. We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. I'm not too worried about handles and things like that at the moment. That will work out later. I've got two qualities of light at work here. I've got the daylight, which is a cool light coming from, actually it's three. I've got the daylight, which is a cool light, which will put a cool highlight on anything that it touches. And then I'm working with the warm light of the lamps inside, which will be more of a yellow glow, which will become more obvious as I work on those. And I've also got the Firebox glow, which will definitely be like a orangey yellow highlight. So as I'm working around the painting, I'm having to change highlights depending on where I'm up to. I'm going to work on the brickwork at the back, I think. This bit inside the fireplace here now, that's actually going to be a golden glow. So I'm going to do a light glaze over the top of that in yellow, so that all that light starts to glow yellow. I've just got to the end of my first day of painting, and I was so excited about starting it. I was, the idea was there, I planned it out, and as it got further through, my eyes started letting me down, and I'm just feeling so frustrated at the moment. But I can't just stop painting and wait. That's ridiculous. And it's taking so long to do anything with it. Really frustrated. Anyway, I've got another ophthalmology appointment next week to find out what's going on. But yeah, I'm just gonna have to be patient like everybody else. Just stops you doing what really helps you get through things. So we'll get it sorted. It's the next day from feeling really frustrated, and I feel better today. So I thought, I know, well, the most important thing is about getting the paintings out that I want to get out, getting the ideas that are in here down to a level where I think that is what I've captured, what I want to capture. The inspiration is things from in front of me. So in the kitchen yesterday, I had what I wanted to paint in front of me, and I got that down. I got down the structure, and I picked up on what I wanted to pick up on to get that image in my head of what I want it to look like. And then I thought, well, do I actually need to be sat in front of this to do it from now on? I've got the information that I need. The answer is no. So I'm going to work from a capture of the video that I did at the beginning of this is the view I'm going to do. Right, I've got everything I need. I've got glasses where they should be. I've got my photograph, paints, water, brushes, and my painting in front of me in my studio where I'm all nice and safe. So glasses on, and we can get started. This is definitely getting easier because I can get really close in and still have my reference for anything that I need. I just need to get my paints a bit closer as well. I'll get there. There's always a way of doing it. Just gotta find it. I'm really pleased with the way this is going. I can cope with this. I can carry on for a good few hours like this. I'm getting a similar feeling doing this to when I did that eye painting, the first one after the operation, in that I'm not changing focus distance-wise a lot. And I really got involved in that one. So I think I can get a really good piece out of this. Whilst I'm painting, especially in the studio, I love listening to music. And I like going on journeys into Spotify, you know, where you go down a rabbit hole and you just keep following it and see where it comes out. And I love doing that and just going, oh, what's that? Oh, what's that? So as the haunting melody of Girl Anachronism by the Dresden Dolls gently fades away, I thought I'd give you an update on where I'm up to. I'm pleased with the way the brickwork's worked. I think I can start working on the actual things, the objects in the painting now. I'm going to have to just go for it and tackle the Rayburn now. Just going to have to go for it. It's all pretty much got to be tackled at the same time, so Just going to keep working on that. I'm looking forward to getting to the dragon stage. Ooh. Getting a bit cheeky, those dragons. And it's nearly lunchtime. I'll do this bit. And then lunchtime of day 2 on Let's Paint Dragons in a Firebox. I'm quite pleased with the way the Rayburn's coming now. I've done the tops, I've got some of the reflections on the metal at the top, done the flue, the handle at the front. What I'm working on now is trying to get this glow in the firebox. What I did, I painted it white first and then a yellow over the top to get that glow. And I'm just doing a bit of the orange around the cooler areas. This is where we're up to now. Quite happy with this bit round here, showing the dresser with the flowers on and the towel and the oven mitts. It seems to be sitting back nicely. Round here seems fine. Kettle, then the dragons, and then obviously this bit down here, and then I'll finish it all off. But it's going better than it was doing yesterday, so that's not a bad thing. The moment has come. I don't need to look at the photograph at all anymore because now it's time to put the dragons in. The Firebox dragons. Lesser spotted Firebox dragons. Quite rare. More seen in cities and built up areas because they are so small. Can cause havoc with your aerials. Yellow eyes. I think we're going to have yellow eyes on them. Pretty good, pretty good. That's the end of day 2, sorry. Start again tomorrow. Day 3 of Dragon in the Firebox. It's actually a couple of days after when I started. So although it's day 3 of painting, it's probably day 5 or 6 or something like that. Just got knocked out from my second COVID jab for a couple of days. I'm going to do the dragons today. So I'm not even going to go with the reference photograph anymore. Now I've taken inspiration from this part of the house and now it's working on how I see it. So I don't even need to get the reference photograph out anymore. Everything's there that I need. So let's get started. Sometimes wonder when I'm painting creatures, mythological creatures and things that I've made up, what their backstory is, where they've come from, what drives them as creatures, what sort of characteristics they have. It's all part of the fun of painting them. And then you start to think, well, there's so many different types of dragons in the world, in different types of mythologies. Where do they come from? And once you start looking into it, it is a fascinating subject. There's Eastern dragons, Western dragons. Dragons pop up in all sorts of fiction literature. You've got Smaug in Tolkien. You've got the goblet of fire dragons that they have to conquer in the Harry Potter series. But I mean, they are extremely modern examples compared to the Chinese dragons and the koi turning into the dragon over the gate, the George and the Dragon story. When I was a kid, there was a dragon living in the firebox in either the engines stories, but they seem to appear in all sorts of different cultures, different societies. And then there's all sorts of theories about where those ideas came from. Would it have been large reptilian creatures, or pure figments of the imagination? Or did something like this actually exist years ago that the memory of has carried on? I suppose it's just a case of enjoying what's there rather than trying to... I think there's too much put today on trying to work out reasoning instead of just enjoying what's in front of you. Sometimes enjoying the beauty of what's in front of you is the important thing. Definitely. Done a little bit more on these two now. They're starting to sit nicely in the painting. I'm really making sure I play with the light coming from these lights and also from the daylight, as I have done throughout the whole painting. Dragon's pretty much done now, so I'm just going to do more on the coal scuttle, the ash can and the horse brasses. Obviously not too detailed because those are the three that I want to be standing out the most, and it's a good way of making sure certain things stand out in the painting is to make them more detailed. This is where we're up to. I've done the coal scuttle, the ash can and the horse brasses. I'm happy with the dragons. What I've done is I've stood back and worked out how everything's sitting together. I'm quite happy with the way everything's sitting together. The next thing is going to be the bit that I've had to wait for till right at the end. I'm going to put the steam coming out of the kettle and the smoke coming out of the dragon's nostrils, coming out of the firebox. That I had to do right at the end, on top of everything else, because once I've done that, I can't work back on the colours underneath. This is the nerve-wracking bit. Get on with it, that's all I can do. Everything's dry. I'm just going to have to crack on with this steam and smoke now. I'm quite nervous about it because I could ruin the painting at this point. I'm not watering down the acrylic. I'm using the acrylic medium because, as I've said before, the acrylic doesn't like being watered down, and what tends to happen is it starts to split and it's not as strong on the painting, so in years to come it will actually start separating as well, and you don't want that to happen. Steam coming out of here is going to be coming through the whistle in quite a straight line, and then it's going to hit our dragon and then come out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a big brush starting from the outside and then leave those lines of white to work my way back in. Don't want it to cover the... Good thing about the medium is it gives you a little bit longer to play with it as well. which you don't get most of the time with acrylics. And then, oh, and then I'll do another one on top. And it's how they interact that will give me the smoky effect. This is painting finished. Dragons in a firebox. And here we have the finished painting. And you should be able to see a photograph of it so you see it in better detail in a second.